Mendeecees and Yandy's marriage, once the embodiment of reality TV love, has come to an abrupt and tragic conclusion. Sources close to the pair have now confirmed that, after years of ups and downs, the couple has finally chosen to end their relationship. But what precisely caused this landmark breakup? Rumors have been flying for weeks, but now we have intimate information about the dramatic reasons behind their breakup. Was Mendeecees' history coming up with him? Did Yandy finally reach a breaking point after years of being torn between family problems and her career? Or is there something sinister going on behind the scenes that no one saw coming? Fans are on edge as they try to figure out what happened, with insiders hinting at stunning disclosures that might change everything. And just when you think you know the whole tale, new twists and surprises surface. Stay tuned, for this story is far from done, and the reality could be more stunning than you ever anticipated. The stunning revelation exploded on social media, leaving followers of Love and Hip Hop in disbelief. Mendeecees and Yandy, the couple everyone felt was impenetrable, were on the verge of a tragic split. After years of shared moments, public shows of affection, and viewers believing they were the ideal reality TV couple, everything was about to collapse. Whispers of a divorce had been floating for months, but it was finally verified. Sources close to the couple relayed the shocking news. Their marriage had met an impassable wall. Fans couldn't understand it. The pair, who had gone through so much together, Mendeecees' previous legal difficulties, Yandy's continual balancing act between being a wife, mother, and professional woman, appeared to be so strong on the surface. However, behind the closed doors of their marriage, fractures were beginning to appear. The emotional gap between them had widened, and it appeared that the weight of their public lives was becoming too much to bear. The first sign of concern occurred when Yandy shared a strange statement on social media. It wasn't the usual family photographs or words of wisdom that followers expected. This time, the message was different. "Sometimes you have to walk away to save yourself," she reported. It appeared harmless at first, but admirers soon began to suspect. Was she discussing Mendeecees? Was there turmoil in paradise? The statement triggered an avalanche of inquiries, and conjecture grew as time passed. Meanwhile, Mendeecees remained mute. He didn't post anything on social media, leaving admirers wondering if he was too wounded to speak up or just didn't care anymore. It wasn't long before reports about their marriage surfaced. Some sources believe that Yandy had felt ignored for a long period, while others speculated that Mendeecees was still struggling with unsolved difficulties from his background. Those close to the couple began to imply that their relationship had been in trouble for months, with disagreements becoming more regular and the love they previously shared fading away. The tension between Mendeecees and Yandy was evident, and spectators began to detect minor differences in their relationships. Their previous appearance on Love and Hip Hop, their chemistry seems forced. Yandy seemed distant, while Mendeecees appeared nervous. Their previously lively banter has been replaced by awkward silences, leaving fans wondering whether this was the beginning of the end. As the days passed, additional details emerged. Insiders indicated that Mendeecees had been spending more time away from home, probably to avoid the developing stress in their relationship. Yandy, on the other side, had been focused intensively on her profession, leaving little opportunity for the closeness that had existed in their marriage. Was this a natural progression for a couple who had gone through so much, or was it the unavoidable result of years of unresolved issues? What looked like a trivial disagreement a few months ago has now turned into something considerably more serious. Yandy had admitted to her close pals that she was fatigued. "I'm fatigued from portraying the perfect wife, mother, and businesswoman." She was fatigued from bearing the emotional weight of their relationship on her shoulders, while Mendeecees appeared more disconnected than ever. Her friends had always known her to be strong, but she suddenly exhibited a fragility that could not be ignored. It was as if the years of attempting to keep everything together had finally taken their toll. On the other hand, Mendeecees was dealing with his own issues. After years of being continuously in the public glare, coping with the consequences of his previous legal difficulties, and juggling his roles as a parent, husband, and reality TV star, he was beginning to break under the pressure. He had spoken in close friends about feeling trapped in a life he didn't believe he could leave. Was it conceivable that the continual attention had put a strain on their relationship? Had their reality television lifestyle, which had made them famous, been the source of their separation? In private chats with their close group, Mendeecees and Yandy began to open up about how their priorities had evolved. Yandy no longer wanted to play the part of the supporting wife who had to smile for the cameras, and Mendeecees was tired of trying to live up to the public's expectations of what their marriage should look like. The burden of continually having to justify their love and dedication to the world was beginning to wear on them, and it became evident that neither of them had the stamina to continue fighting. However, their emotional challenges were not the only source of their troubles. Outside influences were exacerbating the fissures in their relationship, most notably the constant pressure from their different families. Yandy's family had always been cautious of Mendeecees, especially given his previous legal difficulties. They worried he wasn't the ideal man for their daughter, and it appeared that they had been waiting for the proper time to express their worries. Mendeecees, for his part, was always under pressure from his own family to do what they believed was best for him, and their dislike of Yandy made matters worse. As the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy grew, their relationship became increasingly strained. What began as minor disputes escalated into full-fledged fights. Their communication fell deteriorated, and every contact seemed like an attempt to maintain a front of happiness that neither of them could keep up. Yandy, upset by Mendeecees' remoteness, began to question whether he still loved her. Mendeecees, meantime, wondered if he had ever actually been able to offer her the attention and care she required. The ultimate blow came when, only days after Yandy's enigmatic message, Mendeecees broke his quiet. He turned to social media with a short but heartfelt remark, implying the end of their marriage. The post was unclear yet forceful. "Sometimes love isn't enough," he wrote. Fans flooded the comments section, requesting more information, but Mendeecees stayed mute, leaving them in suspense. The stress in their relationship had reached new heights, and it was evident that the pair was entering the most difficult period of their life. As time passed, rumors about Mendeecees and Yandy's connection increased. Mendeecees' stunning tweet sparked excitement among supporters, but it also paved the way for more speculations and insider claims. Close friends and family members were bombarded with inquiries, and everyone was eager to learn the answers. What had actually transpired between the couple? Had they really reached the point of no return? It seems like each fresh piece of information simply added to the mystery. In the aftermath of Mendeecees' article, Yandy's reaction was nothing short of extraordinary. Mendeecees had been imprecise, but she'd adopted a more straightforward approach. In a public interview, Yandy burst into tears as she discussed the emotional toll her marriage had taken on her. "I gave everything to this relationship," she replied, her voice shaking. "But somewhere along the way, I lost myself." Her statements shocked followers, who wondered if she was finally sharing the full scope of her troubles. She discussed the pressures of juggling her profession, motherhood, and being strong for Mendeecees, who had frequently been emotionally and physically absent. The anguish in her voice was palpable, and viewers could sense her pain with every syllable. Yandy's heartfelt confession was a watershed moment in the public narrative. While some followers supported her, praising her courage and perseverance, others couldn't help but wonder if Mendeecees was truly the villain in this scenario. Or was there more to the narrative that the public had yet to see? Insider sources close to Mendeecees began to speak out as well, providing insight into the side of the story. According to one source, Mendeecees had been in intense disagreement for months. "He's not a bad guy," the insider explained. "He's simply trying to figure out who he is after going through so much." Mendeecees' background, replete with court fights and time away from his family, had taken a toll on him, which Yandy may not have completely realized. His troubles were real, as were Yandy's. Their marriage had always been a balancing act. Mendeecees had been imprisoned for several years, leaving Yandy to raise their children on her own. During that period, she established herself as a recognized entrepreneur. When Mendeecees went home, He found himself attempting to catch up on a life that had passed him by. Yandy had changed. She was no longer merely a devoted wife and mother. She was a strong, independent woman who had learned to navigate the world without Mendeecees by her side. But just as she had grown, so had Mendeecees. He went home from jail and immediately discovered that he needed to acclimate to a new reality, one in which he was no longer the focus of attention. The once close link they shared had begun to erode, resulting in months of growing estrangement. As the tension rose, Yandy began to wonder if this was a relationship worth salvaging. Was it worth attempting to repair something that had collapsed under the weight of their past? She had devoted so much of her life to helping Mendeecees, but now she felt like she was losing herself in the process. Mendeecees, on the other hand, began to wonder whether he was clutching at a marriage that had already gone through his fingers. Had they just outgrown each other? Could they ever go back to the way things used to be? Or was this the natural conclusion of a relationship founded on love and survival? The public's reaction was equally split as the couple's sentiments. Some admirers turned to social media and flooded the comments area with expressions of support for Yandy. "You deserve better," one fan commented. "You've gone through so much, and you're so strong. Do not let him pull you down." Others backed Mendeecees, arguing that he had gone through enough in his life and deserved another shot. "He made mistakes, but he's trying," another admirer said. "People forget how difficult it is to recover from what he has been through. He's not the villain." But as the story progressed, another unexpected twist emerged. Just when everyone believed the pair had hit rock bottom, Mendeecees made a stunning move. He allegedly contacted Yandy discreetly, asking if they could have one last talk without cameras or prying eyes. It was a modest plea, but it made viewers wonder whether there was still hope for the relationship. Could this be their final attempt to repair their marriage? Or was it just too little, too late? Insiders said that Mendeecees and Yandy had an intense talk. They both sobbed, releasing the anguish and fury they had been holding in for so long. Mendeecees apologized for his behavior, realizing how he had failed Yandy. Yandy, on the other hand, revealed that she had been so focused on advancing her job and caring for their children that she had neglected their relationship. For the first time in a long time, they were able to have an honest talk free of the distractions of their public lives or the strain of reality television. However, despite the emotional breakthrough, it remained unclear whether this chat would be sufficient to restore their marriage. The truth was that Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship had been put to the test by a variety of factors, including outside pressures, personal hardships, and the severe scrutiny of the public. Could they truly undo the damage that has occurred? Was this moment of honesty only a glimpse of hope before the eventual end? Fans were on the tip of their seats, waiting for the next part in this terrible story. Will Mendeecees and Yandy be able to rebuild their marriage, or will they become just another sad love tale on reality television? With each new discovery, the stakes rose and the drama heightened. As the emotional talk between Mendeecees and Yandy echoed in the background, their friends and relatives began to respond in ways that fueled the fire. Close relatives were apparently conflicted between supporting Yandy's need for personal development and Mendeecees' need for redemption. The couple's children, who had experienced the ups and downs of their parents' relationship, were apparently perplexed. "They've never seen us like this before," Yandy said candidly to a pal. "They always regarded us as a team, but now they just see us hurting each other." It was clear that the toll of this relationship was not just on the couple, but also on others around them. Meanwhile, Mendeecees, who had spent months concealing his inner suffering beneath a facade of strength, was straining to remain composed. He had always taken pleasure in being a protector and provider, but the flaws in his own life were becoming increasingly obvious. "I can't keep pretending everything's fine," Mendeecees admitted to his close pals. "Yandy is hurting, and I am too. We both need something, but I'm not sure what it is." His candor astonished even those closest to him. For the first time in years, he revealed that he had no clue what the future held for his marriage. But one thing was certain: the love they had shared appeared to be fading, and no number of apologies or assurances seemed to be enough to halt the process. Yandy, too, was dealing with her own issues. She had put up a strong face for so long, but the cracks were beginning to appear. She was caught between her self-worth and her feelings for Mendeecees. "I gave up so much of myself for him," Yandy said to her sister, "but now I wonder if I ever knew who I was without him. Can I be happy again? Or am I just clinging to something that has already vanished?" It was apparent that Yandy's inner turmoil was about more than simply Mendeecees. It was also about her own identity. For so long, she had been the wife, mother, and supporter, but now she wondered whether she could ever go back to simply being Yandy. The situation intensified, with friends and relatives on both sides providing unwanted counsel. Some of Yandy's friends, who had always respected her tenacity and independence, encouraged her to leave Mendeecees. "You've done enough," a close friend advised her. "You supported him through everything, and now it's time to prioritize yourself." But other friends, understanding the strength of the couple's love, persuaded Yandy to give Mendeecees another opportunity. "Love is complicated," another buddy explained. "Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to realize what you truly have." While Yandy was being pushed in many directions by people closest to her, Mendeecees' family was also trying to figure out what had occurred. Kirk Frost, a long-standing family friend, has always been an outspoken supporter of both Mendeecees and Yandy. "They were supposed to be the perfect couple," Kirk said during an interview. "I never imagined the day when they'd be on the verge of divorce. However, life does not always go as to plan." Kirk's remarks matched the feelings of many who had looked up to the pair as a model of strength and perseverance. It appeared that they were breaking apart, and no one knew how to mend it. Mendeecees and Yandy appeared to withdraw into their own worlds as time passed. Mendeecees began to focus on his job, taking on new initiatives that kept him occupied and preoccupied. However, his professional achievement could not cover the gap created in his personal life. He spent more time away from home, focusing on his business, but the loneliness he felt at night was apparent. "It's like I'm living two different lives," Mendeecees explained to a close friend. "One where everything is perfect, and another where I'm drowning in remorse and sorrow. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep this up." Yandy, on the other hand, devoted herself to her charitable activities and commercial enterprises. She began attending more events and making public appearances, all while keeping a picture-perfect image for her followers. However, those closest to her knew the truth. "She's a queen, but she's broken," a friend told the reporters. "She is tough, yet you can see the holes in her armor. It's just a matter of time until she has to confront what's going on inside." The situation continued to grow as insiders close to the pair divulged stunning new information. A close friend of Yandy alleged that she and Mendeecees had several furious disagreements in the weeks preceding up to the public breakdown. Yandy kept telling Mendeecees that she couldn't keep doing this anymore, but he kept brushing it off, a friend explained. He didn't seem to take her seriously until it was too late. A breakdown in communication was claimed to be one of the primary elements in their marriage's disintegration. Mendeecees' failure to grasp Yandy's emotional needs, along with his own personal issues, had caused a schism that no one had anticipated. The most stunning disclosure, however, came from an insider who claimed to have overheard a private chat between Yandy and Mendeecees. According to the source, Yandy said, "Mendeecees, I'm not sure if I can love you the way I used to. I feel like we have lost touch." Those remarks were like a to Mendeecees' heart. He allegedly walked away from the conversation in quiet, aware that the end was coming. But the issue remained. Could they ever repair what had been damaged, or was their relationship truly over? Fans were left reeling as they absorbed the fresh information. Was this the final chapter in Mendeecees and Yandy's love story? Was there still hope for their marriage? Only time would tell, but the drama wasn't ended yet. As the tale progressed, the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy reached unprecedented heights. Their friends and relatives could no longer ignore the severity of the situation. Whispers of treachery, silent animosity, and unfulfilled pledges spread through their networks. The couple's once strong relationship appeared to have split beyond repair, and with each passing day, the chances of reunion got smaller. Nonetheless, there were many who believed that love could overcome all obstacles. The matter took a drastic turn when a source close to Yandy claimed that she had sought marriage therapy as a last-ditch effort to save her relationship with Mendeecees. She didn't want to give up on them, the person explained. But she realized things needed to change. She couldn't continue living this way, pretending everything was oak when it wasn't. Yandy, who had always been renowned for her strength and independence, admitted that she needed help. For the first time in years, she questioned everything: her marriage, her place in the family, and even her personal happiness. "I love Mendeecees, but I don't know if I can love him the way he wants me to," Yandy told her therapist during one of their sessions. However, Mendeecees was less amenable to the concept of therapy. According to sources, he was hesitant to confront the realities of their failing marriage. He didn't think there was anything wrong, a family member explained. He expected things to work out, but Yandy had already checked out emotionally. When he understood how horrible things had gotten, it was too late. Mendeecees was always a man of action, preferring to solve issues with his hands rather than his emotions. But this time, there was no simple solution. The damage had been done, and it was now up to both of them to decide whether or not to put in the effort to repair their shattered relationship. As the couple's personal life grew increasingly public, the media frenzy around their impending divorce intensified. The headlines shouted about the couple's suspected adultery, secret confrontations, and emotional breakdowns. Mendeecees and Yandy's divorce drama is more intense than any reality TV storyline, one tabloid headline stated. Fans are stunned by the surprising details disclosed about their connection. Everyone appeared to have an opinion on the couple's plight, from fans to celebrities to strangers on social media. "They've always been our #relationship goals," one admirer said on Twitter. "It's awful to watch them go through this." However, although the public's reaction was varied, those closest to the couple had their own perspectives on what was going on behind the scenes. Yandy's sister, who had been mostly calm during the turmoil, eventually stepped up, stating that she thought the pair had become too distant to restore their marriage. "There comes a point where love just isn't enough anymore," she remarked in an interview. "I've seen how they've treated each other, and it's as if they can't recognize each other anymore. It's heartbreaking, but I don't believe there's anything left to save." At the same time, Mendeecees' family was dealing with the news of their probable divorce. Kirk Frost, Mendeecees' longtime mentor and confidant, was stated to be concerned about the impact this was having on his buddy. "I've never seen Mendeecees like this," Kirk told a close friend. "He has always been the strong one, but today I can see the agony in his eyes. It's as if he's lost the thing that was most important to him." However, even Kirk, who had always been a great supporter of Mendeecees and Yandy's romance, conceded that there was little chance for the couple. "Sometimes love just isn't enough," Kirk said somberly. As the divorce process continued, it became evident that Mendeecees and Yandy had a number of unsolved concerns. Financial issues, arguments about their children, and residual sentiments of betrayal appeared to eclipse any hope of reconciliation. Mendeecees was apparently adamant about keeping full custody of their children, while Yandy was determined to maintain a large part in their joint projects and commercial interests. "They both want to win," a legal source explained, "but now they're battling for remnants of what was once a glorious existence. It's like watching a ship sink, and no one wants to throw out the lifeline." Throughout the tumult, Yandy and Mendeecees maintained their public identities, both attempting to project a veneer of strength despite the breakdown of their personal lives. Yandy attended high-profile events and continued her charitable work, smiling for the cameras. But those who knew her well could tell that the weight of her marriage's demise was taking its toll. She had always been a source of strength for her family, but she was now battling to keep things together. Mendeecees, on the other hand, moved even more away from the public spotlight. He concentrated on his profession, using it to distract himself from the anguish he was experiencing. But even when he was at his most successful, there was an unmistakable melancholy in his eyes. "He's not the same," one of his close pals observed. "He's lost something, perhaps even himself. I don't know if he'll ever locate it again." As the days went, whispers about their divorce persisted. Some fans assumed Mendeecees and Yandy were playing a game, claiming to be at odds for exposure. Others, however, believed that the couple's marriage was actually finished. "It's a shame," one fan commented. "They were ideal for one another, but now they feel like strangers living in the same house." As the couple's divorce became increasingly certain, the public was left to guess. Will they ever be able to reconcile, or is this the end of their relationship? Only time would tell, but the drama between Mendeecees and Yandy was far from over. Fans continue to wait with bated breath for the next startling development in the story of one of reality television's most renowned couples. As the divorce drama progressed, the situation appeared to approach a boiling point. With both Mendeecees and Yandy trying to cope with their failing marriage, the drama surrounding their breakup took a surprising turn as fresh allegations emerged. Whispers of previous secrets, betrayals, and even suspected infidelity began to spread via the media. These new developments were even more astounding than what supporters had previously experienced, and they just added gasoline to the already raging flames. It all began when Yandy's close buddy, who had hitherto been silent, made some stunning assertions. According to this source, Yandy uncovered certain hidden truths about Mendeecees that shocked her to the core. "It was like a whole different person was revealed to her," the buddy said. "Things she never imagined were possible." Yandy was shocked to discover that Mendeecees had concealed so many secrets from her. Once those truths were revealed, there was no turning back. Fans were left wondering what these bombshell revelations may be. Some felt that it was related to Mendeecees' previous romances, while others suspected something more sinister. Whatever the reality was, the situation was growing more confusing and disorganized. Yandy, formerly famed for her composure and grace, was now openly dealing with feelings she had kept concealed for years. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was apparently dealing with the aftermath as well. "He's trying to hold it together," a family member explained, "but the weight of everything is just too much. He never imagined it would reach this stage. He genuinely liked Yandy, but now he's questioning everything." Mendeecees had always been a guy who was proud of his reputation, and the notion of his personal life being revealed to the world was too much for him. He battled to keep his cool as the media proceeded to rip apart his marriage, with each new headline biting deeper than the previous. One of the most incendiary allegations to emerge from the controversy was the potential that Mendeecees had an affair. The whispers had been flying for months, but suddenly it appeared that they may be true. An unnamed person supposedly came forward, claiming to have evidence of Mendeecees' infidelity during his marriage to Yandy. "He had a fling," the person explained. "It wasn't a one-time event, it was continual. And Yandy did not find out until much later." This news sent shockwaves across both of their fan communities, leading many to speculate if the couple's marriage was doomed from the beginning. Yandy, unsurprisingly, was devastated by the news. She had always trusted Mendeecees, and the notion that he had been keeping such a significant transgression from her made her feel not just betrayed, but also ashamed. "How could he do this to me?" Yandy reportedly stated in a private talk with pals, "How could he have done this to our family?" The pain was palpable in her voice, and fans saw a side of Yandy they had never seen before, vulnerable, hurt, and questioning the very foundation of her life with Mendeecees. However, Mendeecees' version of the tale was as tragic. "He didn't mean for things to go this way," one of his closest confidants revealed. "He made errors, but he was striving to become a better guy. He didn't want to harm Yandy, but the pressure of it all got to him. Now he's left to pick up the shards of his broken existence." Mendeecees, who had previously spoken openly about his hardships, was now facing the consequences of his conduct. His public identity had been shaped by his road to salvation, but that image had been damaged. The final straw came when the pair apparently had an emotional fight in their house. According to people close to the couple, Yandy approached Mendeecees about the affair and demanded an explanation. She was crying, begging him to tell her the truth, a friend of Yandy's remembered. It was one of the most intense moments she'd ever had. She wanted to know every detail. She couldn't take the falsehoods anymore. Mendeecees, though saddened, apparently acknowledged to the affair, and it was evident at that point that their marriage could no longer be salvaged. As the news came, supporters of the pair were left stunned. Many others expressed astonishment and bewilderment, unable to reconcile their previous admiration for the pair with the tragic reality of their position. "This isn't the Mendeecees and Yandy we saw on TV," one admirer said. "Those were supposed to be our aims. They are currently coming apart in the same way that every other celebrity relationship does." The couple's family also felt the ripple effect. Mendeecees' mother, who had always played an important role in his life, was claimed to be devastated by the discoveries. She couldn't believe what was happening, a family member explained. She had always supported their marriage, but now she was reconsidering everything. Yandy's family was also shaken by the news, with her sister and mother allegedly encouraging her to move on and focus on her own well-being. "This is not the life Yandy deserves," one family stated. "She is too powerful to be dragged down by someone who does not value her." As the crisis unfolded, the couple's followers were split between supporting Mendeecees and Yandy. "We just want them to be happy," one admirer commented. However, it is evident that they have both gone through a lot. Maybe it's for the best. Others, however, were outraged and disappointed, with several feeling misled by Mendeecees' acts. "He hurt Yandy, and that's unforgivable," one fan said. "I cannot support someone who does that to their wife." With the divorce finalized and the emotional toll on both Mendeecees and Yandy, the future appeared uncertain. Will they ever find their way back together? Is this the end of their adventure together? Only time would tell, but the drama surrounding their marriage remained far from ended. As the media continued to cover the story, viewers wondered how much further this pair could go until they broke down. Wow, what an emotional roller coaster journey. The turmoil between Mendeecees and Yandy has certainly shocked everyone. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe their marriage is beyond repair, or is there hope for reconciliation? What do you make of the alarming findings that have surfaced? Please share your ideas in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video for additional updates on this major topic, and subscribe to ensure you never miss out on the newest news. Hit the notification bell to keep on top of all the action occurring. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with even more astonishing information.